Hello YouTube, Ronin Kaze trying to get everything going. And there it goes. One for one again. Messed that up. Hey, today I'm going to do a legendary Manning Zoo. And I also want to ask if you could buy me a cup of coffee. I'd appreciate it. There's a QR code. You can use that QR code, or you can go onto the YouTube channel and there's a link to the YouTube channel where to get the cup of coffee. So I started this legendary. I was hoping to do capital. I've already done capital with this character, but and I couldn't record it for a lot of different reasons. So I was queuing up for legendary, was made the leader, was at Manning. A guy jumped in. I said, do you want to do this or you want to do capital? Manning Zoo is probably the toughest of the legendaries, I think. And then Tidal Basin, and then maybe Roosevelt Island, and then, you know, maybe District Union because of the final boss, and then Capital is pretty much the easiest one. So here we are. We ended up starting two-man, and here's what I was surprised with immediately. When we went to two-man, I went to a build where I heal, basically. I don't know the name of the, I'll hopefully put it in post of what my build was. But it's a build where if you, for all the damage your technology weapons do, it gives back healing to the group. So I switched to that when we were two-man and just kept it. We were going through this relatively quickly. It's relative, right? So it's like 35 minutes for Manning's. For me's relatively quick. And for example, we're coming to this part right here. We just mowed through this. I put up my turret, but the two of the guys move forward, and really Mr. Unknown has a build that I had to check it because I was like, but he was a striker build, and he had the exotic LMG that's whatever it is, one fires a million bullets. So he was melting people. Plus we had healing, so I didn't want to change it. Everyone was relatively high level. That means they're over like 2,000, maybe right around 2,000. I think there was a 2,000, a 3,000, or a 3,000, 4,000, and then like an 8,000, and I'm almost 9,000. So it was a relatively experienced group, decent builds, and we just mowed through this. So what are the things that you have to think about in this legendary? So what's going to happen here, we're going to kill, this is the second spawn of this part of the map, and then it spawns, you know, and this guy introduces the spawn already. It spawns on the left. So sometimes when you're doing this mission, if people aren't inexperienced, they'll try to run out to the next phase, but really they just trigger two more people. And so we just do that. We're just chewing them up. This is another hard section. I'm running here. So one of the bad things about being technology is you're always kind of behind, because you're always worried about your quote unquote your pets, your technology. You know, are they in the cooldown? Do I got to pick it up? It's always faster to pick it up than just killing it. One of the main guys just runs right to, there's a group of snipers over here on the back part. I'm moving to help support him. I'm going to put a turret down the stairs, halfway down the stairs, that can kind of reach them, but this guy's killing them down there. What's going to happen next after this, it's going to spawn people behind you back where we were in the last thing, a couple of chungas. One chunga is going to come out of that hole, another chunga is going to get airlifted down from a helo. So at this point, I'm like thinking, hey, I've been in a lot of groups where we've gone through this stuff pretty fast. And then there's always some little bit of overconfidence. On the next section, you're not really going to have that. It's really straightforward. It's the alligator pit from the main story. Again, you can see I'm way behind everyone. I think there's one person left, and we're going to get him right there. So sometimes I change my build to do something else, but with this group, we're playing super aggressive. I am not a super aggressive person because I just want to get through here. Now, the caveat for me in this is I've already got my weekly exotic, so I'm a little more risk okay, not risk averse, the opposite of, I'm more willing to go risky. So I push up forward, never do this, help support this guy. And we're going to push up. I'm going to put a turret right in front of this open mouth. And again, I want my turrets and my drone to be hitting as many people as possible because it's giving us constant healing. Plus, these guys have the shield thing where when they pop their shield, we get extra armor. So it's going great. Here's the next part that's normally pretty bad. So this is the part where you start lower and you got to climb up. You're always at a territory or a gosh, I'm sorry, YouTube. You're at a disadvantage for your terrain. You're always shooting uphill, which is not advantageous. So I've been in some groups where we just race to the top. That's normally when I have a tanky character. So the first part, I'm going to rush forward with this guy. I pop the drone, and then I'm going to put the turret. There's a door to the left here. I'm going to turret because as soon as we kill all these people, and we're moving so fast that we pop them. So that's why the turret's there. Then I got to pick up the turret and then just keep supporting these guys as we move up, forward, and forward. I'm relying on the drone at this point, and I do skill builds all the time. So this is kind of a 3-piece with a backpack and then 2 other pieces to try to give me maximum damage, because the more damage I do, the more I'm going to heal people. I don't have the backpack piece, so I got to make up for it in that respect. So I have a chest and 2 other pieces. So I end up throwing my turret on top of this cage so we get the gunner up there, and then I see my teammate pushing forward, so I'm just going to push up with him. It's really nice being with a group of people that are experienced, not low levels, because you're just really pushing the boundaries of what you do. So you're playing the game probably how you'd like to play it instead of being so cautious. And so we're moving through here relatively fast. I think there's one guy ran back there, and we're going to go to the next section. This next section is another place where I've wiped a lot. The groups lately I've been in, let's say in the past, 10 times, we go out, go to the right, and fight from that section there. When you're on a weak group, you fight from inside this building, inside the doors, and it's always a tough going because everyone doesn't have line of sight, and they're just focusing all your fire on this one area. But this is one kind of group that's going to run the tank. If you're a tank in these things and you have the revive hive, right, you're super aggressive. Once the revive hive is used, then you got to be a little more, cautious. So I'm up, boy, I've never played this far forward. So I have the drone. I have my turret back supporting those folks. If anyone bleeds down my right, or on my left, if we push on the right, it's going to funnel people down to the left. So we're going to funnel people, chungas, back to the left because they're getting pushed so hard, and you can kind of see what's going to happen. And I'll engage one of those chungas. He'll get me with his bleed. But those guys are melting these guys really fast. And there's the Helo. That's the only bad part. This Helo drops 4 people. So I remember I have the turret up here. I'm bringing my drone over here, and we take these guys out quick. And now we're going to push forward again. So at this point, I'm going like, wow, I can't believe it. I keep thinking that we're cheating somehow because it's so easy. I don't know if it's necessarily fast, but it's easy. These guys are just great. And I'm just, do I have to be healing? Probably not. But you just don't want to fail at these. They're long time consuming missions. You don't want to fail at them because, you were trying to be too cute. So I'm just going to stay with this healing. This next section is tough because there is a thumper that messes up your electronics. So you can either set up a turret back in the back where it doesn't reach, or you can try to take out the thumper. So I'm hoping these guys are going to take out the thumper, but YouTube, they don't. So I'm up forward like a dummy. Normally I have that test subject machine gun to give me my 20%. Why don't I use that other one, the exotic? Because number one, for it to be decent, you got to be hitting people all the time. And with the test subject, I got to hit them once and I got a 20% buff. So I'd rather have 20% buff all the time versus a 40% buff some of the time. But I'm using the shotgun. And I got to say, for crowd control, that shotgun, the Scorpio, is like kind of one of the best. So it's kind of like I always have the Scorpio, and then I might have the rifle version of test subject, whatever that's called. But we basically fight this whole battle without any heals. And I think a guy goes down once. I feel bad, but I think these guys are experienced enough to know that if you don't take out that thumper, we're going to be stuck. We go through here. Almost every group I've been in at this point, as we go through this next stage, they go to the right, and then they take out the thumper on the right. And that's, again, what we're going to do. And I think one guy stays back. I'm going to position my turret up on there. There's a ledge up here that will look right quite a bit. It lets me see left also, so it's in a good spot. And then I'll get the drone popped and then send it over there. Mechanic I've noticed, you probably already know this, but I'm going to say it again. Sometimes I aim at people with my my weapon, and then the drone will kind of go there. There's no, if you can't see people, sometimes it's hard for the drone to find people. But we're going to mow through this part relatively easy. And so at this point, I know what we're going to do. We're going to push on this next phase. I don't know how far we're going to push. But again, like I told you, normally I'm super conservative. But I'm just going to trust my teammates in this point. And it honestly feels like I'm getting carried. That's what it feels like. So we do all this. We pick up our loot. This next phase, there's an initial wave right when you get out. It's kind of, again, it's a milder climbing up the steps. And you'll pop out here to the right. I set up my turret. It's going to be, we're going to pop out of this opening. I put it up on this wood, but what I realized instantly, these guys are pushing all the way to the spawn. So the next spawn's through Helos. I should have pushed up further and support them. There's like a little stand there that you can mount a turret on. I didn't do it. I could have done it in China, run up there, because I don't have a lot of aggro yet. But again, I'm providing the heal, so I'm just trying to get, so here I'm going to go up here once, I get shot once, get my turret, go back, get my turret, and then I'm going to move forward. But by the time I move forward, you know, they've cleaned the area. I have the drone going forward, but like these guys, this is the area where you'd set up the turret. But they've just cleared this. So probably it feels the worst when this is the last section before, you know, you don't get reset. So this is normally where I do Vile Jammer, and I go down to the lower right area. I'm checking on the video because I can't believe like how fast this is going. And I would just kill them with the Vile Jammer. But this group's really strong. So sometimes what people do, this guy's been great. So I go back and get him up. Normally I put my turret up. There's a little section you can hide in here. At one point they drop people down. They'll spawn behind you like a helo drop of people. So I put the turret there, and I'm always in my mind thinking I'm going to go back there and hide if I have to. Again, like, subscribe, resubscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, whatever, do all that. Thanks for all the support with the channel. If you could buy me a coffee, I'm going to use proceeds to do a review of a machine, then raffle it off to the people that watch this channel. All right, great. So I'm kind of in nowhere, man. No, man. I'm out of cover. I start getting smoked. So I hide. God, not the hiccups again. And I'm going to loot because I am a scrub. Because we're just kicking butt. And I'm letting the turret do its stuff. I'm going to go back and get this guy on the right. Guess I'm going to loot him. Yes, he's already dead. And again, we're going through this like it's crazy. So now we're getting to the final stage. The final stage is what you want to do is you want to suppress the people that come out in the back. If you don't suppress them, they grenade you, they send drones on you, and it's just a pain in the butt. So I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to put a turret in an area that kind of conjoins these two sections. There's this little pathway here, there's a pathway on the right, and then there's where they spawn in the back, and this is the part they got to go through. The other part they got to go out in front. So I have that turret there. And you'll see people are flooding up to where we normally play from when you do this kind of thing. Not we, but where people play from is normally up at this platform. But when we're pushing so hard, we're going to get people that leak in from the right and left until we get to the spawns that come out of those doors on the left and the right. And then those are going to be mechanical spawns. So when I have Vile Jammer, that's fantastic because I'm just knocking those guys down constantly. And, you know, in a perfect world, I'd Vile Jammer and use this healing, but the healing is more important. So again, I'm a little more forward than I'd normally be. Come back up. This is this part of the spawn where you have mechanical, so there's a dog. Again, purples are bad for everyone. Normally, if you have a build for legendaries, you have protection to elites, 12% or 13% mods on your armor. If you have a survival build, survival gives you 10%. So if you have 6 pieces, if you make your build right, you got 6 times 12 is 72, but you got like 82% protection to elites. But purples just chew you up. So the last thing, your priority, usually in legendary for me, is purple first, then red, then yellow, because I'm going to survive all the yellows. And if I have any type of tanky build, the yellows are just absolutely nothing. I have a tanky Vile build that I use sometimes on title basic. That one you have to have Vile, I think, to suppress with the jammer. So we're going through here. You go through a couple of waves. You go through the first wave, then you go through dogs, and you go through a second dog wave. And then when the bosses spawn, you should kill all the ads first, because the bosses can't kill you. And there's one chunga. So what you really want to do is go around. You'll see one of my partners is out in the field. So you really want to kill the ads first. The bosses are going to come find you. They're not going to do a lot of damage. And if I'm going to be able to heal, here when the boss spawns, I put off my turret, and then I'm going to go help the other guy taking one of the bosses. And the turret's going to help heal people. I go down there, but by the time I get down there, this guy's already killed the boss, which is fantastic. So it's been a really good group. In some groups, this is a hard time. And there we go. So thank you, YouTube. Appreciate it. Ronin Kaze out. I guess not out. That's a little... Now I'm almost out, YouTube. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one. Ronin Kaze.